Hi, everybody. So, I'm going to be doing a video reaction to Derrick and his wife. Let's see what it's about.
And for years I've been the
He
coming
just
down with
started
the
off
hammer
with,
with people, play no games, take no prisoners when it comes to certain things. And let me tell you something for everybody listening out there, man. You can believe in something so fervently that it develops a sense of pride. And pride comes before the fall.
you
And
mumbling.
whenever you have pride and you're in a space that God has allowed you to be, He's called you to be, but you're not doing it the right way, God will humble you. YouTube is now on here
Yeah, I
too.
believe people
Hi,
get
YouTube.
humbled.
How y'all doing?
God will humble you. So
That was like the most nonchalant laugh ever. Like this is nothing. Like, oh, we just gonna just blow this off our shoulder. Like, whatever. Okay, hey, everybody. Hey, what's up? You here? Okay.
a lot of people were asking, like, last year, why no videos? You going weeks, you going months without posting and anything like that.
Because you was being sneaky.
2020, for some people it was a pandemic, but for me, it was my lowest year because it was like a reckoning with getting so far into this path that God really has called me to be, but not doing it in God's way. And I almost lost, well, I really did lose my family. I lost my
No,
wife, I lost my
almost.
children.
Almost.
And it was really what I needed though. Because I believe in this, I believe in that, but it's just like, okay, D, well, if that's not translating into action in that regard, you need to, one, prioritize that, and two, you need to change your tone whenever you're talking, because you're a product of grace to even be this far in what you're doing for years or whatever, of doing it kind of according to your own standard. You're a product of grace, so you don't have room. This is how I got checked. Okay, when it came to my relationship with God, she was already gone. She was already done. She was already, hey, she wiped her hands with me, man. And I can't control that. I can't tell her she's
No,
obligated. But
you
for
can't
me and
control
God, it
that.
was, Derrick, you have to get in alignment. My purpose is bigger than the two of y'all. My purpose, I gave you a purpose and I gave you gifts. So with that,
And you had to put your
here we
mask
are. But
back
a lot of
on
people are, I think the timing is just off. So many people are sharing
Yeah.
probably the hurt that you felt at one point.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of hurt that I had felt. I mean, we're talking about we've known each other since we were 19. And all the years of doing it wrong, breaking up, getting back together, and all these things that were never healed from. So we talk about getting into a marriage, never healed from these things, and not having boundaries in place. So a
toxic
combination of all
relationship.
these things, of course, leads to hurt. But with that, we have to understand as a people that these things lead to bitter roots. They lead to
It's called behavior patterns. Those behavior patterns cause harm. They cause people to get hurt. And they are narcissistic behaviors. And she never got over it. And she's been manipulated this whole time. That's why they've been off and on and off and on, because he does something and he manipulates her to come back every single time. And this is even before they even got married.
to hurt. They spill over into other aspects and areas of our lives. And before we know it, we're drowning. We're never happy. We're never satisfied. So for him, that looked a certain way. For me, it looked a certain way. But with that, there is hurt. So was I hurt? Absolutely. There was a time that I was hurt. There was a time where I was fed up. I I mean, everything that you could think of, I did. I did. I
You're
yelled at
still hurt.
him. I cussed.
You're still hurt. Look at her body language. You can see in her body language that she is through. She's leaned over, just real like comfortable and casual. Like, when you through, that's how you sit. You just like, just sit and like, I'm through. Like, she looked like she's in fight mode, ready to fight right now. Like, she's over it. And he's just being manipulative. But
Cussed at him. I called him out of his name. I left. these things, and none of that was helpful. None of that was helpful, and it was hurtful. It caused more hurt, more
Mhm.
pain, and more damage.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
And no, I don't want to cut you off.
But you did cut her off. And right when she was talking about how she felt through everything.
Um, but I think in that time, even though I can appreciate you taking accountability for that and saying it wasn't helpful, I think it was totally. I think it was justified to feel what you felt and express it in
Oh,
whatever way it came to you.
definitely. I mean, you're talking about other women, fuck, other women
I got
being
you.
with you.
Right.
So
Right.
excuse my language, guys.
Right.
You're
No,
talking
I
about
get it.
that. You're talking about
Yeah,
things
you're
that I
still
have
upset.
seen, pictures, videos
So
that
you
I have
Mm-hmm.
seen
cursed.
well before anything was ever leaked to the public. I have seen things, and yes, I acted on that anger. So this is not something that I just escaped from or didn't feel any type of way. Where I'm at now is only by the grace of God for delivering me from the hurt and the pain that came along with this behavior. And none of it is justifiable. There's no reason why any of this should have ever happened, not even in the marriage or before marriage. So that's where I'm at now. I actually have true peace, and that peace comes from God. The source and the source of my strength comes from God, not him, not what he does on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever. It doesn't come from that. It comes from God. And with that, I am living in victory. I am walking in victory. I am healed. I am whole. And I know who I am. And so you guys will definitely be seeing more of me as we continue on.
So why now will we be seeing more of you? Why didn't we see more of you before? Why did it have to take him being outed for us to see more of you? It shouldn't have taken all this. You should have been included the whole time. He's using you as a manipulation tactic.
On in this journey.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I want you to, of course,
Here's
continue
the
being honest
manipulation
as you've
right
already
here.
been. Where are you at now, in terms of that, in terms of the hurt, in terms of the pain, the healing? Um,
Why is he asking her that? Why? To use her to manipulate his audience even further. There is no reason for him to be asking her that question. He's using her to say, oh, well, I got over him. You guys need to get over the whole situation too. If the wife, can get over it, then you guys should get over it. This whole video is a manipulation tactic to win over his audience. All he cares about is not losing his audience. That's all he cares about. So he's using his wife to do it.
since you first found, since I came forward with everything, where does that put you right now? Like, why haven't you just left? You
Yeah.
know, with everything that I did and
Why
what you
shouldn't
saw
my
and how
audience
bad it
leave
was,
too?
why didn't you leave, and where are you at right now?
Well, again, I say, well, I did leave because I was like, listen, the next time you cheat on me is going to be the last.
The
And
next
when
time,
I found out about it, I left.
the next time. That's a key word. The next time. So this is not the first time. This is ongoing. And this is before they got married.
Again, I packed up everything that I could fit in my car and I left. And I didn't turn back. I didn't hesitate. When you came, I sent you back home by yourself. And I told you, listen, do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I need to do. So, why didn't I leave? Well, I actually did leave. And I stayed gone for almost all of last year.
And file
Toward,
for divorce.
and I filed for divorce, actually. I did file for divorce. I had the best of the best, whatever, but I filed for divorce. I said, I'm not coming back. I told you before we got married, the next time you do it, I'm going to leave. And that's what I did. I left and I stayed gone.
And you
And
should have
the
stayed
only
gone.
reason
No, you should have
I
stayed
even
gone.
entertained coming back and then now am back full fledged. is because there was an actual shift in your mentality and how you just dealt with me. You actually eliminating people from your life, cutting off these connections with these people, and that is something that you've never done, you never hinted at. There's even with all the trying again, breaking up, getting back together, what all
That's because you went to file for divorce. If you would have never filed for divorce, he would have kept continuing to stalk you. See, he's a covert narcissist. So he's going to put on his hat, on his mask, and he's going to tell you every and anything that you need to hear to get you back. So he went all the way back to when y'all first met and he became that again.
all of it, you have never done that, not one time. And then also your pursuit of God and your continued pursuit with or without me, because I was
How does she know that? How does she know that he pursued God without her and they weren't together? You know why? Because he kept her informed every single day what he was doing. It's manipulation.
gone. I was out of your life. It was over. So,
I remember.
um, so that's where I'm at right now. I have peace about it. I know that there's an actual sustained change, and that sustained change is not contingent on anything that I said that I wanted
No, you
that you could
said you
do for
wanted,
me.
no, you told him that you wanted it way back when. He doesn't have to guess what you want. He's a manipulator, master manipulator. He knows exactly what you want. He knows exactly what to say. You've known each other since you were 19 years old. He knows you in and out. So he already knows what's going to work. If he's in the middle of, oh my God, she's going to leave me. She's going to she filed for divorce. What can I use? What manipulation tactics can I use for her to stay? So, ooh, she's into God. She's into church. Hmm. I'm going to use that. His whole video is about God, God, God. You guys have said God like more than any of the times that he said it in any of his other videos. And all of a sudden, it's about God. But when he was with the woman, no, those women, it wasn't about God then. But right now, when he wants you back and he knows that you're a Christian, and that you love God, he's going to use that all the way to his full extent because he is a manipulator.
Or anything that had to do with you and God and your personal relationship and you changing for him and what he called you to be and what he wanted you to
How
be.
do
And
you
with
know that
that,
God
I
called
have
him for that?
the security and the peace that I
That's the
needed
thing. You don't know what God
to
called
continue
people
to move
for.
forward. Plus, we still have our counsel that we go to, you go to on your own still. It's not something that has stopped just because I came back. And again, we got back in the same space of like being in the same space in October. So this was not
In October.
overnight process. This was a long haul process where I said, no, I'm not coming back. I left, packed it, and left. So,
You should have stayed
Where
gone.
are you now in terms of like,
But
okay,
he's going
if
back to
somebody was to
her,
ask you how the last,
manipulating
I
his
don't know,
audience.
couple of months of, 1 second, Marley, I'm coming. I'm about to go get her.
That sounded so
Um,
genuine.
I'll go. Actually, I'll let you answer why
Sweet.
I go. But in terms of the last 6 months, or since we've been back in one space, how would you describe the marriage compared to what it was before? Compared to the
Look, he wants to
relationship,
manipulate it
even
so
before the
bad.
marriage and all that other? Because we've been off and on, by the way, for 12 years. Well, we were off and
How
on the
was the
first
marriage?
like
Is
I don't
it
know, seven
good?
or eight,
Should my
and
audience stay
then
in
we
belief?
got back together and later in 2016. But the marriage, the new marriage,
The new
compared to the
marriage.
old marriage or
That's
relationship
a
or
that's
however,
a
how would you describe
manipulation
that? I'll
word.
go.
The new marriage. No, it's not a new
how I would
marriage. It's
describe
the
it.
same
So,
marriage.
hey guys, I'm here
Hey.
while he's gonna go check on our daughter.
Mhm.
I would describe the new marriage as completely new. The old marriage was built on a lack of
I'm sorry, but he has her totally manipulated. Now she's using the term new marriage. It's no such thing. From before October till now, it's a new marriage. That whole concept is manipulative. All that, oh, let's start over. It's manipulative. It's not going to work. It's the same marriage. He's the same person. She's the same person. Why is it a new marriage? Because he went out and cheated.
Boundaries, engagement, there were certain mentalities that he had that
Mentalities.
I could not
That's his
stand.
personality.
But I did in that time uh, try and to accept it, but it just ended up to nothing. So those things are have changed. How he thinks about him just having contact with people that he has had sex with.
You see this plastic tote right here? Well, I'm gonna show you something right now.
Being friends with them still on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, unacceptable, unacceptable. And now he understands why that is an
Oh,
issue, and it's not something that I had to force on him. I just
wait a
passed it.
minute. He was a child and he didn't know any better. I thought he was grown and married. I thought he knew that he should not be communicating with people if he's tempted to have sex with them. This is not normal. You should be able to be friends with your exes and not be sneaking behind your wife's back to go mess with them. That's not a healthy, normal relationship. And that this is why society is just so jacked up because you should be able to trust the person that you're with. You're supposed to be able to trust your partner. So if you don't, it's a toxic situation. It's a situation that you should not be in. You should not have to babysit your husband or your wife.
Up and left. I said enough is enough. And so with that, in this new marriage, he has completely continued staying to keeping those things eliminated, letting me have access to everything, and
She got to
again
check his
allowing
phone.
me to speak for myself. Okay, so I don't need him to speak for me or any of these things.
I don't
So
need him
with
to speak
all of
for
these
me.
things
Control
combined
me.
together is different. His engagement and just our personal time, our time with our family, all of these things are different. How he speaks, you guys can tell in some of the videos that he's done that he talks different. He carries himself with a different air, and all of these things have translated into the new marriage that never existed before. Boundaries, even now with boundaries with new people that are coming, we meet new people every day. We and we have boundaries. He has boundaries in place. There's things that he does where he lets me know, hey, such and such, this is a conversation that happened, or hey, I just met such and such, and I think this is an opportunity. These type of conversations never happened in the old marriage. They never happened. He
Yeah.
would do his own thing,
So
and I
before
would never know
October,
about it,
it
or
was
he would
the
just
old
go and
marriage,
act
and after that,
on
it was
whatever,
the new
and
marriage.
then I find out about it after the fact. And so all of these things are different.
So, no, I mean, I didn't hear all of what you said. I was getting Marley. But okay, the whole purpose of going live. First off, I mean, whose idea was it to go live?
It was my idea.
Look,
I said, we're gonna have to go live about this, right?
why was it important for us to know that bit of information? Why? You know why? Because he's manipulating her. That's why. He wants her to manipulate us. That's why he's pushing. Why is she even here? Why? Why is she sitting on this couch justifying everything, trying to give him excuses for cheating and wanting us to forgive? I mean, it's nothing wrong with forgiving. I mean, I'm not mad at all. The thing that I am trying to explain is the behaviors, because so many people get caught up with men like this. And it's ridiculous because you don't even know that you're being manipulated. I was manipulated like my whole marriage, and I did not find out I was being manipulated until the end. And see, I know the behaviors, I know when I see them, they're all the same. It's textbook. And he is literally using this lady to try to keep his audience. Why he couldn't have just got on this video by himself and said, I cheated. And I want to say, I'm sorry. And I am taking accountability for this. Pray for me. Simple as that. I messed up. But why do you have to have your wife sitting there? Oh, we had to go to counseling. We had to go fix this. No, you have to fix yourself. She don't have nothing to do with it. Nothing. I don't even understand why is she even oh, we have to do a video about this. This don't even have nothing to do with her. She been on the right track. She ain't out there cheating.
right?
Okay,
Because
you got to.
you guys don't know me. You don't know me. You never see me. You don't know my mannerisms or anything like that. And I needed to be able to speak for myself. Like I'm left the situation when it was time for me to leave.
Well,
So
well, you know,
Well,
you
it's
always
time for
been
you to
one
leave
an
again.
introvert.
that's true.
Two, you always had resting, not happy face. So people take that whenever you're listening. You know, it's like, man, she's hurt, she's damaged, she's
Her
still
body
wounded.
language.
And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, but you know, what would you say to that piece of it? What would you? The floor is yours.
I would
But
say
you want to
this: by his stripes, I am healed. Okay, I had to do the work. I had to get with God and be honest and say, Lord, I don't deserve this. I've dealt with it for too many
you
years.
don't deserve it.
And the repetitiveness of it, the things that I've seen, guys,
Repetitiveness.
you don't understand the things that I've seen, the images that I've seen, the videos that I've seen
Hmm.
did a number on me. There was a
Yeah.
time where I was broken and I was damaged. And I am not in that place anymore because by his stripes I am healed. And I released those things to him. He says,
No, it's because your husband put his mask back on and he's manipulating you and making you think that he's a different person when he's the same person and he's going to continue to do the same things.
cast all your cares, your worries, and anxieties onto Him. Okay, and that's what I did. Every aspect, every single detail, every crevice of the person, every
You did the
every
work.
video that I seen, every
Hmm.
picture, all of it, I gave to God. And if I had not
Hmm.
done that, then I would probably still be in the same place. And also, the biggest thing
So
was
he can just
forgiveness,
cheat
right?
again.
There was a time where I was just holding on to anger, like, listen, if I see her on the street, you know, who's gonna stop me, type of thing. But I was like, you know what? I learned in my journey, I have to forgive, and
So if he
forgiveness is
cheats
not for
again,
the
you going to
person;
forgive him
it's for
again.
me to be set free, to be able to move forward. And as I learned how to do that over time, I got more and more and more healing. And that type of healing that you need from this type of situation can only come from God. No man, no therapist, no pastor, nobody can heal from this type of pain. Only the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, can heal from this type of thing. And so when I let Him in, and I gave him the
But you
details, every
cannot
single
bring,
details, the uncomfortable detail,
I'm
the
away,
rage that I had, the the insecurity that
all
I
that.
had, and all of that. That's when I got my healing, and that's where I am today, and that's how I have the peace and the healing that I have right now to be able to even speak to you. I mean, a year ago, even I would even say 8 months ago, I would never get on here and say anything to anybody. I would probably be in the comment sections with y'all. I, I mean, there was a time where I would I would be in the comment sections with y'all, like, mm-hmm. So that all comes to healing through God, and so yeah.
Yeah.
And so you did all that healing and went through all that. And then you went back to the shit that you were healed from. That doesn't make sense. You got away, you were away, you healed. And then you did all that healing and then you went back. That's where the mistake happens. You go back. You don't go back. Don't go back to these exes. Don't leave them exes. You can be co-parents. You will be okay. You do not have to be manipulated and cheated on back to back like that. You do not deserve it. And if you get away and you heal and you forgive, that does not mean that you have to go back to the marriage. You can heal and forgive and not be in the marriage where you're being disrespected.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not so much, I don't want to, me personally, there's so much more to this story. So much more from
Yeah.
both
So,
sides.
like what? From
I've
both
never been a
sides.
fan
Now
of
he's
bringing
trying to put
people
something on
into,
her.
oh, making this a group chat, a group dialogue, group marriage. With all due respect, this marriage, this family is a real life thing. It's
So
not
much
just
to the
online.
story.
It's
What
two
could be
kids
so
that,
much
that
more to
want
the
both of their
story?
parents to went
You
home.
cheated.
I fess up to what I've done to her in every capacity. She already knows it. I know the things that she's done, but she didn't cause me to do anything. And I want to make that clear. But even as we're talking, we're not
He wants to make her a he want to be the victim so bad. He want to make it seem like she did something and that's why he went off and cheated. I mean, those are just putting in little bits so we can be like, oh, what did she do? Did she do something? Okay, nothing that she could have done could have made him cheated, but he's still like blaming her low key.
not explaining ourselves. And that's not an egotistical thing. I really don't even want to set the wrong precedent
But you
coming on
are.
here and just explaining, explaining,
But you
explaining.
are.
But because of how this story has gone, I know God can get so much glory
No, that's
because,
because you were
okay,
being
so
a
in years past,
hypocrite.
what she's talking about, and correct me when I'm wrong, if you do it again, this was back, like I'm talking about when, before we even got back together in
Before y'all
2016, you were talking about?
Yeah.
for marriage.
2016. So as we're even getting back together as boyfriend and girlfriend that year, she's let me know because the previous stint at a relationship, yes, it ended with like not infidelity, I guess, with cheating. Ended with cheating. So that was what 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
Acting
whenever it
like
was,
it's
six, seven
nothing.
years
It
ago
don't
from now.
matter.
Yeah.
It still
Okay.
happened.
So with that, I made the decision
Red
to
flag.
jump back in because I'm like, well, based on my intelligence now, my age now, how much I love you, this is never going to happen,
But it is.
right? I've done the work going to my dad and cutting that, situation.
You hear that? He had a toxic situation with his dad. His dad may have been narcissistic. And when I say narcissistic, and I don't like when a lot of people be like, oh, you always trying to diagnose somebody. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. I know behaviors and I know behavior patterns. And I know what narcissistic behaviors look like. When you say somebody is a narcissist, yeah, that may be diagnosis. Nobody can diagnose nobody, but you can know the behaviors. You can point out the behaviors. It's a behavior pattern. And so his dad may have had behavior patterns of a narcissistic person and passed that down to his son. And you can tell when people have issues with their parents and they don't know that their parents have narcissistic behaviors, they end up passing those behaviors down to their children. And now he's passing along narcissistic behaviors towards his wife. Manipulation is a huge narcissistic behavior. all that cheating back to back because they always like having more than one narcissistic supply. You know, that's what narcissists have. They have supplies, which are women, different women. They love having different women. It's hard for them to just stay faithful in one relationship and really be content with that one relationship. Of course, they have some that are, faithful, that, they're a-holes and, beat up their wives or whatever. But, he's more of a covert narcissist. That's why when you watch his videos, he seems too good to be true because he has that mask on for everybody, the world, all his followers. That's why I didn't even I didn't even pick up on it. I thought he was a cool guy, like, oh, he's giving some good advice, but it's only when you look into their personal life and stuff start coming out, that's when you're like, wait a minute. He had his mask on the whole time. He was manipulating his whole entire audience. We was all fooled. But now it's open. His mask is off and he's revealed. So it's no hiding it anymore. You can't hide it. Once the mask is off, and then we see that how manipulative he is, and you can just see in this one video how manipulative he is. And he's using his wife to be manipulative towards his audience still.
Down to where it needed to be and healing that. I've gone to, now I'm going to a counselor. And basically, all of these natural world things are fixing the situation.
Did you know that the average adult has 5 to 20 pounds of toxic poop in their body at any given moment? Seems crazy.
But it wasn't until I, not you, but I, brought God in. And this was before the blow up. This was before the blow up, February 4th, 2020. We actually already had an argument, by the way. But February 4th, 2020, me saying, God, I can't do this without you. I can't, I'm clearly not winning. I'm over here, I'm tripping. I'm doing stuff outside of my values. I'm risking everything. And we want to go to the business, but I'm risking my family. I'm clearly failing at being the man even I say I am and want to be. I can't do it without you. And it wasn't until I came into submission to God, like really saying, well, God, not my way, not my understanding, not my books, theories, videos, none of that. Lord, what is your standard of how to do this thing? That I really, from that point, was like set free. I say set free, but it's really set free for myself.
He's talking about his book. And it's funny because he posted his books down in his comments. And he has his wife on the cover. Why is she on the cover? Why is the book talking about us healing without hurting each other? How is he the victim? He just made himself the victim. How did she hurt him? What is he healing from in the marriage? I mean, I don't know all in depth, but I know how bad it feels for somebody to cheat and continue to cheat. What is he healing from in the marriage, within the marriage? What did his wife do to him? Healing without hurting each other. It's straight up manipulation. I would not, I wouldn't even want to buy it. I wouldn't want to buy the book because she's not wrong for being emotional. And if she said things to hurt him, it's a reaction to what he did. It's a very, very natural reaction. I mean, it, it's emotional abuse. So that's what happens.
I know the Bible talks about dying to yourself and things of that nature. And some people think this is new. I've been now saved a little over a year, but we're not going to go into that.
You saved, now you got to
And
get
the reason why I
resaved.
wanted to get on here is because I know there's so much glory to God that can be given by anybody else Maybe it's not infidelity. Maybe it is just having a sharp tongue.
Look,
Maybe it is needing to heal. Whatever it is, man, personally experiencing that power and that grace over you before things blow up. Again, there's no, oh, she knows this, she knows that. Before, I think you had some idea of it beforehand, but before I know that she knows anything about anything, that's what
yeah,
I
she had
experienced.
ideas that you
That
were
finally
cheating.
brought all of
A
this,
lot
oh,
of
I want to do this right. I want to do.
when people are in relationships, yeah, they do have ideas. When you're sneaking talking on your phone, getting all kind of text messages, hiding your phone, like there's all kind of signs, yeah. And you were like, "No, I'm not cheating," and making her seem like she was crazy when she would bring it up. And it's like she knew that you was doing something and you were just denying it. That's psychological abuse.
That into alignment with my actions. So it was later on that I came forward, I confessed, because I can't be repentant without being totally honest.
Meanwhile, he's still making videos.
Um, but that's why I'm doing it, because it's important that for anybody, now my experience
Ain't
is, for
nothing in your
anybody
eyes.
that's trying to turn that page, you smart, you know this, that, and the other. Well, without God, without deliverance, without God, and I'm not saying that I was just strictly being dictated by something else. My decision is my decision, but without God, you gonna fail. I failed anyway, without God. So that's why I wanted to do. That's why I was like, man, this is a great idea. When you said
Yeah.
let's do the live,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
people don't have to agree. I get it. The
What is
trolls
the
are
grit?
here. The bloodthirsties are here.
What
People don't
is
have to
there
agree.
to
There's
agree
somebody out
on?
there that needed to see me not perfect.
Scientists have discovered a link between bowel movements and successful, long-lasting weight loss.
Yeah.
There's somebody that needed to see Derrick not high up this perfect pedestal, and I don't know why I ever got there, but that's I'll take the.
Wait a minute. You put your own self on a pedestal. Nobody put you on a pedestal. Just because now that everyone finds out that you're cheated, all of a sudden you think people put you on a pedestal? No, you put your own self on a pedestal, especially when you start downing everybody else, knowing that you were doing the same thing. You put yourself on there because you were holding everybody else accountable but yourself.
Blank. Somebody needed to see that, and somebody needed to hear, not just from me, but from you. And, this. They always want to find a way to invalidate you if you're not
Of
saying
course.
what they want you to say. Oh, you blink if you need help. You getting forced to do this.
I
You
am
just
not a slave to anybody, including you.
you just protecting the brand. You just
No.
trying to save face. You just
Listen, when I left a mansion and everything in it to sleep on a couch, and I didn't look back and care. And when you came, I left. So none of that matters. I'm not going to be a slave to you or anybody.
I know that you
So
come off soft spoken, but they don't know your true strength, and they will know. But
you'll know.
Why do we will know?
nonetheless, man, us being able to now sit and talk about this like this, because I'm talking about what seven,
I
eight
see
months
they
ago,
not
we couldn't
holding
even have
hands
this much
anymore.
space. You wouldn't
No,
even fit
I
us on
wouldn't
the
even
same
allow him
screen.
to touch me. So no.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, God can work some miracles. I'm not sitting here just saying it's all God in turn, because in order for
If
God to
God
do
can work
anything through you, you
miracles,
have
why
to
you cheat
co-labor.
again?
Okay. So it came from a lot of conscious decisions of Derrick to let go of pride that Derrick knows best when it comes to shaping human behavior. Derrick
But Derek, a week before this video, you was with another woman.
is a teacher. Derrick will get it together. No, Derrick had to let go of pride and now let some accountability partners come in. Without her saying do this and do that, Derrick had to take it upon himself. And then God co-labors with us in order to produce fruit from that.
Okay.
So it's not so much about let make it completely clear, at least from my perspective. We're not trying to prove
We don't
nothing,
care about
convince
your
nothing, explain.
perspective,
It's
Derek.
much more about, okay, this situation is what it is and it's so public. Let's give God glory.
Yeah. All glory, honor, and power belongs to him. So
Because all I'd ever known is, especially even in a marriage, is if things ain't going well, you might as well throw it away.
yeah.
You might as well throw it away, let it go. It's pointless to continue. He gonna be who he is. She gonna be who she is. Y'all gonna
And
never,
Derek, you
be able to
definitely gonna
rebound,
be
get
who you
somebody new.
are.
Right, but what they're missing from it is that God is the only one who can change a person. That person has to be open to it, but
Wow.
God can change a person. It doesn't matter what it is that they were doing. It's called transforming in the
Look at
renewing
him
of the
looking in that
mind.
camera
Once you
intently.
accept him and you start to pursue him and you're getting that word in you, there is going to be a change, and that change is going to be sustained by him, because when we try to do that change on our own, we fail, we go back. I think you experienced some of that.
So, wifey, what did you change? Why isn't he saying all this? These are your words. It'd be different if he said those words. But what did you change? What did he change? He just put on his mask. That's not changing. And we know that from what today, March 24th. No, 20. Today is what? I got the date mixed up. Oh, it's March 25th. And we just found out that he was with someone last week. So those are not his words, those are your words. He hasn't changed. He's the same person. He just put on a mask.
Yeah.
In the time. But when you have God and you are pursuing him and he makes that change in you, then it is sustained in
Look at
him.
him
It's by his
rubbing
strength,
on his
his
beard.
power, his might, and with his renewing and the
Arrogant.
transformation of the mind for it to be sustained, for you to continue to stay away from those things, and for your eyes to be open to why these things were a detriment to you and everybody around you. Right? So we have to understand that we are living here in the world, but we are not of the world.
Come on
We
now.
are walking in the flesh, but we do not war after the flesh. So what it used to look like, we don't do anymore. And what we are doing now
I feel
is
so bad for
giving
her.
all
So
glory and
bad
honor
for
to
her.
God and how he wants it to be done. And so that change
She
comes from
really
him.
wants to
Anybody
believe.
can be changed if you're open to it, if you accept him as your Lord and Savior, and as you continue your
Look
pursuit
at
in him,
him
you will
arrogant.
be changed. There is called transformation, okay? And that is where we're at now. There's been a transformation, there's been a renewing of the mind. There's been
He probably was
scales
looking
taken
in the
off the eyes
camera
to
at
understand
himself.
why these different things became an issue, why boundaries are important, why these open doors continue to stay open
But wifey,
until
why you saying all
there was a
this? Why he
decision
not
made.
saying
And
that?
so that's where we are.
Okay.
He
Well,
like,
I
okay,
think that is
okay.
plenty. I know Marley probably hungry right now.
Yeah.
But all
Look,
right, yeah, we didn't want to come
now
and just do a Q
he's
and A
just
or
so
anything like
worried
that.
about the kids. He's
I
so
know
worried
somebody
about the
said, you don't have to
kids.
explain to these people. I totally understand that. Good, bad, or ugly, I don't have anybody to
He
explain
want to look
to.
like the
It's not about
family
proving
man.
anything. This is an opportunity, first off, for her to minister based on what she's gone through, because I think a lot of women have.
Yeah,
And
based
this is
on
my
what she's
opportunity
gone through.
to, I guess, really kind of reflect God's glory. And
Not to take
call it what you will, leave
accountability.
God out of it. No, I'm not leaving God out of,
Without him, we would not
like,
be here.
straight
Without
up,
him, I would still be where I was at,
straight up.
and he would be doing whatever he was doing.
It's,
So,
it's, and let me be clear, it's not even about
So men, you can cheat and then just bring God in it and then you get your wife back. Because if it wasn't for God, then she would have still been out the situation. Don't use God when you want to use God. Don't do that. Because God is not going to get you out of a situation and then put you back in the same messed up situation that he got you out of. That is no, you put yourself in that situation because you wanted to believe Derrick. He's a liar and a manipulator. You don't know his heart like that. Only God knows people's hearts. He's just, he's lying. I'm
about
tired of even
infidelity.
talking
Infidelity
about it.
didn't run my life. Man, I'm sitting there getting high. I'm getting drunk. I'm still suffering from anxiety and depression. I'm good at
Oh,
mindfulness
he
techniques,
wants to be a
meditation, and the whole
victim,
nine. Anything that somebody could
like
tell you.
Mark
There
Steele.
was so much internal torment. Not just Derek's out here being a
Oh,
bad guy. Never
oh,
abused
Derek.
her.
Oh,
Don't be cussing at her or
oh,
nothing
you're a
like that.
victim.
But Derek was
No,
so
but
internally
emotional
deficient,
abuse
so
is
internally
real.
deficient.
Psychological abuse
And
is abusive
all of
too.
that was restored in terms of what needed to be there in place of that deficiency by God.
Just in case you guys don't know, psychological abuse is just as bad as physical abuse.
Now, why is it now I'm on God? Now I'm on God. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see me talking about this since the day I got saved. If you look at Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other book, you'll see that I wrote the entire book starting in our
We're
new
not going to read
marriage
it.
based on what we were doing, based on what was working and bearing fruit. And it's a biblically based roadmap to how we were getting what God was doing in our lives, how we were getting really to this point. In terms of a husband meeting your needs,
To the point where someone else is now came out. Mm,
I mean, think beyond me. Whatever your needs are of a husband, where
yeah,
am I
let me
at
think
in
beyond
relation
you.
to that now?
Look, he keeps using
And
her
it
to
could be
talk to
totally
us.
brutally honest too. Like, I'm still whatever.
So
He like, I'm still good.
you are meeting them now. You were not meeting them before. So it's in certain areas, it's still a process, right? Because we're still going through a process. This is something that is not overnight, something that we have to work and build through. Some things that I needed, you were never able to execute on. I mean, we were starting from zero, and so there is growth happening there, and I am satisfied. I am full and before I
Her
was
ring is
empty.
so
And
cute.
so I would say that you are adequately at this point meeting my needs in every capacity, security being one of the biggest ones. I need security to be in here. Being someone who follows and knows Christ for yourself, without me, without
But how
my
do you know
interjection in that.
that?
That was a big one. I did not want to be with
How
anybody
do you
who,
know that?
or you included, if you did not have a relationship with God. I was not going to come back unless you had a relationship with God and you were continuing your pursuit without me. If I decided I was still not going to come,
You didn't give him enough
that would be something.
time.
So, if I was wherever I went, so those are some things. And so right now I'm full, I'm whole, and I'm good where I'm at right now. I think of course, it's still a working process.
Yeah.
In areas, it's not finished and
Right.
finite, but we are in the process. We understand things that were a hindrance before, and we have the guidance that we need, from the spiritual aspect and the natural world aspect as well, to continue on with the healing.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Well, it's a work in progress.
But I thought you were
And I think
healed.
I don't think anybody's just finished. I think even once you think you've finished, by that time you probably have grown into a different version of yourself.
Yeah.
yeah,
But we
definitely.
but
He
we'll
said he's not finished. He not finished yet. He still got some cheating to do, and she still got some forgiving to do.
continue
Sadly.
this another time. If you guys got
Hmm.
something out of this, please let us
Yeah, we're
know.
gonna continue a
This is
different
with
time when you
everything
talk about the new
included,
woman that
flaws, scars,
came
and all.
forward,
I think you guys probably
supposedly.
know like 2% of the whole thing. And maybe
We
we're
don't
always
need
going to
to
have a
know the
level
whole
of
part.
discretion about how we bring
Yeah.
people in because it's not good to bring people in on every good, bad, and ugly. There's three-stranded cord for a reason. You, your partner, and God for a reason. Everybody, just like you have some commenters and they want to be able to give their thoughts and opinions and like you don't
Hmm.
bring
Yep.
everybody into every
Just
detail.
like you bring your
But I
thoughts and
think if
opinions
this is
on other
something that
people's
can give God glory,
relationships.
Yeah.
Hmm.
that can aid in the restoration of other relationships that have potential to be brought back to people that are really open to doing things God's way.
Right.
Maybe this is something that we can do again in the future. Would
Yeah,
you be open to it?
yeah, definitely. And you definitely
Hmm.
will be seeing more of me. I'm sure I'll jump on some more lives and all these things. And again, like you said, everybody is not going to accept what we're saying. They're going to say all these things, but
Hmm.
let those who have an ear, let them hear. And let the healing that
I feel
comes
so bad for
from
her.
our situation
I feel so
be
bad
a
for her.
testament of
Just pray for her strength.
how God can resurrect something from the dead in real life. He can resurrect a marriage from the dead. He can resurrect a person from the dead. So let that be a testament to that. So
Word.
I just end with this. Let those who have an ear, let them hear. And for those who don't, we'll continue to pray for you. We release the blessings of the Lord upon your lives. And that's it.
All right, then. Y'all be good.
Wow.
Holla at y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
See y'all in there.